Hello everybody, it's Raven, and I have just hit 500 subs, so thank you all so very much for watching, subscribing, and supporting the channel. I really do mean it. It means a lot. I'm going to do the questions today. So, the questions will be appearing here as I say them so you guys can read them, but yeah, I'm probably just going to start talking and I may end up rambling. Who knows? First question comes from Cannon Coder. Have you watched Gundam 00? And if you have, who or what is your favorite character or MS? I have not watched 00 yet. It's on my list. Unfortunately, the site that I typically use to watch, my Gundam, get my Gundam fix, doesn't, well, the videos aren't working. So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch it yet. It's on my list, but I am a big Gundam fan, and you can kind of tell considering that my avatar is Gundam Sandrock from Gundam Wing. That one's probably my favorite. With Unicorn, I actually like the Quad Wing. I don't know what the hell it's called. It's kind of awesome. I would totally love to have the little funnels that fly out and just nuke stuff, because why get your own hands dirty? Just have little drones do it for you, and apparently they're really hard to destroy unless you're Gundam Unicorn. So I'd take that any day. But yeah. Oh man. Killing people with little drones. That reminds me, I need to build a drone carrier. If anybody has any ideas of for a proper drone carrier design, send them my way. I'm very interested. Alright, so next question was by Phantom, and he asks the age-old question, where do babies come from? Well, when a mama ship and a daddy ship love each other very much, they have a special hug, and they both enter build mode together, and then a little baby ship pops out like this. Yeah, I went there. Anyway, next up is Super Game Freak 18. So, Raven, how many stages do your ships tend to go through? And then he talks about the 1-year anniversary, but that was sort of run by Tom, and I'm sure there will be much more Y-hole in the future. That being said, to actually get the question, how many stages do my ships tend to go through? It depends on the ship. If it's anything over, well, I mean, the general line for me tends to be something like the initial build phase, getting a frame and general kind of what I'd call half shelling. I don't have all the wedges in, I don't have any of the details, it's just the general shape of the ship, and that will be altered a lot during that time, so that's where the bulk of the work is. And then after a little while, I'll go through and I'll do like a rough detailing pass where I put in, if it's a black ship, which most of mine are, I'll put in some white lines here and there to sort of bring it out, see what it's going to look like, add some wedges, do a little bit of finesse. I might change the look of the ship, I might cut something off completely or put it back on, etc. So I guess that's stage 2. Stage 3 tends to be starting to work a little bit on the interior, making sure everything fits, making sure the interior is not going to mess with the exterior. If I need to extend stuff out of block or whatever else, I make sure that that's all good. And then I do a final exterior detailing pass where I just I try to get everything good to go, and then I'll start putting in systems. And when I say final, by the way, when I say final detailing pass, I don't mean final detailing pass for real. I think it's the final detailing pass, it never is. But then I'll start putting in systems saying, okay, what is this ship's role, how fast do I want it to go, etc., etc. Sometimes because of the systems, I might extend something, like the engine area back a block or something like that, fit in some more stuff. Just general tweaking, little bits and pieces, just getting it all right. And then after I get the systems in, I tend to, spin it around for a little bit and see how it works. And I will also spend some time going back and reworking the details, because a lot of times I'll have changed a couple things, so, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that seems to be it. I mean, like, for instance, the Argus has 46 work in progress saves. And I'll give you an idea, the Arturius is now up to 20. Actually, that was part of why I started doing the Arturius build series. I would say that there's like 2 work in progress saves per episode that I do of the Arturius. And that's to kind of give you an idea of my process as well, at least for the big ships. For the small ones, you tend to be able to churn those out a little bit faster, so I don't save quite as much. I probably should, but I don't. So, yeah. Hope that answers your question. Next up was Zachary Moody, and he asks, why doesn't Saber make another ship review video? And he sneaks in a second question, which is, what is the best ship you've ever seen in StarMade? So, as for Saber, I have no idea. You'll have to ask him. Nope, not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. I realize that you didn't necessarily want me to, but you definitely wanted me to. Let's not kid ourselves. It's all good. No, I mean, I know he's been really busy. That's all I'm gonna leave it at. But as for what the best ship I've ever seen in StarMade is, that's a tough one. And you know what? I am going to take this question, and I'm gonna make my a video specifically on probably, like, you know, my personal top 5. So that's what I'm gonna do with that. So stay tuned. Will Williams asks, what is your dream for StarMade? The one thing you wish would make it perfect. The things that I want for StarMade are already planned. I think that the things that are going to make StarMade really come into its own is when the crafting system comes in, and that's not very far off. In fact, it's been mostly built and put together. Just needs, implementation, coding, etc., or at least the finishing up of that. But what I'm really looking forward to is the quest system. Or not the quest system, but Lua, so that you can make your own quest system. I think as soon as people have the ability to put in, quests, objectives, things like that, that's the only thing that's lacking. And I don't mind having it player built. I think that's pretty cool. I don't think Star Wars necessarily, Star Wars, wow. I've been really wanting to watch Star Wars lately, if y'all hadn't noticed. I don't think StarMade needs, things like the Ender Dragon. It'd be cool to have, things like that, but I wouldn't go so far as to say that it's required. Once Lua scripting is in and you can program your AI to do things that you want it to do, you can set up quests with proper waypoints, etc. I think that's going to be really, really cool, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll have to relearn Lua scripting because I haven't used it in a long time. But next up is DeathToad88, and he asks, ever thought of making a blog where you post shots of your ships as well as lineup information, etc., etc.? Yes, I have. I know that the Mushroom Fleet actual proper site, now there's the Google Plus community page, and I'm not talking about that. We actually have an actual site that is slowly being worked on. It's not ready yet or anything like that, but there is a distinct possibility that I will be setting up my own blog for that sort of thing. I've been trying to post Imager links to different pictures as I go, and I'm trying to remember to actually take freaking pictures as I go building, like the Arturius, for instance. The Imager actually has quite a few different links, etc., or not links, pictures of the different builds that I've done. Unfortunately, it's not very comprehensive, but that's kind of why I do the videos too right now. But I'll look into that. I think I'm gonna have to wait a little while. The problem with doing something like that is that it's more time that I just don't have right now. I gotta be working. I gotta be doing a whole bunch of stuff that I just I don't have time to set something up like that right now. Maybe if I get lucky, and maybe if money isn't quite so big of an issue, and I can I can stand to not pick up any job that comes through my door, then I'll be able to devote more time to it. But right now, I might be able to do something simple, but it won't be a big blog or anything like that. I won't do every little thing. But there is an Imager album or an Imager of site user, whatever. It's Raven in Imager. And I will post that up in the description for y'all to check out. So, yeah, as for lineup information, I try to post that. I need to get better about doing it. And the problem is that, especially lately, I've been getting some really nasty headaches. So, actually, making sure that I'll be able to make it to the lineups and do them is a little bit tricky right now. I will be doing one this coming week if you're watching this, on the day that I upload it. I'm gonna try to get better about that. I swear. It's just I need to I need to get my head to not feel like there's a midget with a hammer banging on the the inside of my skull, which would be nice. Unfortunately, so far no such luck. Alright, next question is Ultimate Gaming. What do you want to see from StarMade the most in the future? I kind of answered this question with the what is your dream for StarMade? So I'm going to take a little different tact on it. What I'd really like to see from StarMade as a community, not so much as the game itself, once the features are there, that's really, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll work and really make the game what we all sit here and say this game could be great, and I think that's what's gonna make it great. The problem, or the one thing that I'd really like to see from the community is I'd really like to see people focus more on looks. Personally, I like pretty stuff, but at the same time I'd like to see less animosity between servers. I'd like to see a big collective of servers, working together and putting out events and having friendly competitions between servers, perhaps. I think that'd be really cool. But in general, I'm just looking forward to seeing new ships. I love doing lineup reviews. They get to be kind of long sometimes. I'll be there for 4 or 5 hours, but I love seeing the ships, and there's some really cool stuff out there. So I'm looking forward to the community growing and getting more interested and more technically adept. And I mean, I need to get to that point. I'm no, I don't know I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just sort of there. I just do, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes it just doesn't. Most of the time, it just doesn't. Let's be honest here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the community growing, and we get some. I just like it when somebody comes up with something that nobody has ever thought of, or nobody's ever thought of doing something a certain way. That's really exciting to me, because then it just, mind blown, and all of a sudden you're sitting there going, I'm going to use that. I'm going to go and stick this over here. I'm going to do this and that. I don't know. Maybe that's just my own personal hopes, and I'm rambling again. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Next question is from Ivor Snan. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. I realize it's literally like 8 letters long, but me and names have never been friends, and yeah. So sorry if I butchered your name. But he asks, what is the best time you have had on StarMade? See, this is like kind of a tough one. I love filming like Insomniac series with Saber. When we get to that point, it's absolutely hilarious. It's a great time. Or things like what Dal and I did with the Mass Driver the other day. That was hilarious. It's just stupid stuff. But at the same time, I just love building, I think the best time, or the best feeling you can get from StarMade is when you get that ship to the point where you actually see what it's going to look like. You know exactly what it's going to be. You know exactly, maybe not exactly, but you really, when a ship stops being blocks and starts to become a ship, That's one of the best feelings you can get in StarMade. But the best time that I've had that's really hard. That is really hard. I mean, one of my proudest moments was taking out the Hailstorm. That was pretty cool. So I'm one of the the 2 people that can say I've taken out the Hailstorm V2. That's a tough one. It's a good question though. Thanks for asking it, and it's actually made me think quite a bit. Michael Hensley asks, what faction am I on, or am I in Mushroom Fleet? And there's actually kind of 3 answers to that. I'm typically in Imperium. I run with all the guys in Imperium, and we have a great time. I've also got my own personal faction, which is EFSF. I mean, that's just for me. That's just because, and it's usually I use that one whenever Imperium's not up and running, because we've got restarts. Like recently, we've had a lot of upgrades and patches and stuff like that, and so we're just sort of waiting right now, and we'll be kicking Imperium up soon. I know I've said that like 18 bazillion times, but it's gonna happen. The only thing is, at the moment, it's just so difficult to do. So we're just giving it a little bit of time. But normally I'm in EFSF if it's just me, or if I just need a faction to faction up a ship really quick, if I'm gonna leave it somewhere or dock to a station or something like that. And then typically I'm in Imperium. I'm one of the admirals there, hence the Dawn of the Empire thing. And then there was a 3rd faction, which is the Forlorn, and that's not technically me. Well, it is. It's both me and not me, and I'll just leave that there for the moment. But that faction doesn't show up very often, only once in a great while. And the suspense thickens. Dun dun dun. I am really tired and really out of it right now. Sorry. All right. Next question. KY Computer. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I believe the answer was either 32 or 24. The real answer to the question is something along the lines of none, because I killed it and ate it. What? I was hungry. I was out camping. Whatever. Next up is Creeper God, and he asked how we got Dalmont upside down in the tree in the Dawn of the Empire, and all we did was flip gravity and then make a little hole for him. The problem ended up being that we couldn't get him down because his head was blocking the space where the gravity module would have had to be put, and he couldn't target anything else for some reason. So in order to get him out, we literally he had to dig underneath his feet, which, mind you, is up, and then get shot up into space, then get caught by gravity, be pulled back down from space, and he did that right before we started filming. So then we had to get him back into the it was a fiasco. It was pretty bad. It was funny as all hell. But yeah, so that was a good time. But yeah, it was just a gravity trick. It's the same trick that you can use to make it look like people are actually laying down in beds, or to maximize the size of a room. You can put furniture on the ceiling of a room, and all of a sudden you've got a floor and a ceiling part of the room that you can have like a bedroom on the ceiling, and then the bottom is an office, so you can have people sleeping in their office for whatever reason. Things like that. Actually, I need to go through with that. Thank you for actually asking the question, because now I'm going to have to add that to my tips and tricks videos. It's about time I come out with a new one anyway. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you got to learn a little bit about me, or at least stuff about me. If you guys want, you can leave questions here in this video, and maybe I'll do another one sometime. I don't know when, don't know why, but if you want to, feel free. Other than that, I am planning to do a live stream very, very soon. And a friend of mine essentially called me a little bitch the other day. So I'm going to prove to y'all that I am not a little bitch. I'm totally a little bitch when it comes to scary video games or movies or whatever. So I'm going to be playing Amnesia on Monday. Live streaming. So feel free to join me. I will release the time, on Sunday. I don't know exactly what time I'll be able to do it. I got to figure that out depending on work and everything else. So yeah, just be it'll be interesting. Hope I get to see you guys there, and yes, you'll probably hear me scream like a little girl. I will record it and stick it up on YouTube just for more self-deprecation and embarrassment. Should be fun. Beyond that, I'm also going to release this baby, the EFSF Naviri, in its current rendition, for y'all to play around with. She's not quite as fast because of the nerfs to thrusters, and because when the thrusters were on box stems, I converted her engines. And now I have to turn them back. Thankfully, Eldwin is helping me out with that, stripping out the Naviri and getting things put together, or else I don't think I'd have the heart to do it, because, man, trust me, I've done about half of it initially, but there's so much more to do. Anyway, yeah, so have fun playing around with the Naviri. Beyond that, I really don't got much else. I hope y'all are enjoying the channel, and thank you so much for supporting it. It really does mean a lot. It's really, really cool to see all y'all. I never thought I'd actually hit 500, to be honest. I thought I'd maybe get seriously 30, and then nothing. I just figured it'd die, but y'all have really pushed me to keep making content, and it's good. It's good for me, I think. And it's a lot of fun, I gotta say. I've had a lot of fun with the server. I've been on server for about 7 months now, and I'm looking forward to continuing to bring you guys good content. Plus, I should be getting a new mic. And if you can hear that frickin' hiss in the background, or not hiss, but fan thing, that is actually a fan, but this mic unfortunately doesn't have any settings for a noise gate, so yeah. I'm hopefully going to be getting a new sound system. I'm only about $50 away. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, take it easy, y'all. Have a good one. And as always, I'll see you next time.